Thank you, HomeAglow, for sponsoring today's video. The first thing I'm going to make today is ciabatta bread. I need 630 grams total of flour. I'm going to do about 2/3-ish of whole grain. This is what I do for my crusty sourdough bowls, and it works perfectly. Most of the recipes we're going to be making today, we're going to use 100% whole grain, but ciabatta, like the bowl, has that chewy interior, that crusty exterior, so I think this will be the better route. I'm going to start by milling 425 grams of hard white wheat berries, and then I'll do the balance in either all-purpose or bread flour. I'm gonna add a tablespoon of salt, 2 cups of water, and some sourdough starter. I fed this yesterday morning, so it's been sitting out a little while. It'll work just fine. The full recipe is over on my website if you want exact measurements. As usual, I will leave links below to all of the recipes that I'm using today. I'm gonna mix this up with my hands, and I'll do stretch and folds throughout the morning. Now you'll notice that first stretch and fold there, the dough was rather shaggy, not elastic, but as I do more stretch and folds, it will become elastic and smooth. Our kitchen is pretty cold this time of year, so I was able to let this sit out all the way until the next day when it doubled and became nice and bubbly. As with any dough, you'll need to watch to make sure that it doesn't over ferment. Sourdough is very seasonal, and you have to get used to what a dough feels like as opposed to waiting for the right number of hours. You'll know it fermented too long if it isn't smooth and elastic after the bulk ferment, but is instead sloppy and wet. You'll know that it over fermented, but then you also want to make sure that it ferments enough. So it's getting used to dough. What I always tell people is don't be afraid to try sourdough, because the more you do it, the more familiar you'll become. And if you mess something up, toast it in the oven, blend it, and make it into breadcrumbs. It's perfect to coat fried chicken with or add to a meatloaf. Nothing goes to waste, even during all of your experiments. Ciabatta is a great one to start with because you don't have to shape it. You just kind of spread out the dough and cut it into 8 equal pieces. It's a very rustic bread. I like to add some steam to the oven in a cast iron skillet with some boiling water. This gives it a crusty exterior, which is even better when you use all-purpose, but still beautiful and lovely with whole grain as well. Baking in the winter is one of my favorite hobbies. It's cozy, it makes the kitchen inviting and smell wonderful, but it also makes a lot of messes. That's why I'm happy to partner with HomeAglow on today's video. HomeAglow is a 5-star home service platform dedicated to making your space feel clean and tidy. With their easy online booking capabilities, you can instantly schedule top-rated cleaners in your area for a special occasion or regularly with their Forever Clean membership. With 11 people in our 2,000 square foot home, we see a lot of wear and tear, and cleaning is a constant thing. It's so nice to know that someone will come in and take care of all the nooks and crannies and places we miss, giving us more time to enjoy those Christmas traditions. Things like baking and hot chocolate and movie nights in the living room with popcorn and cookies. Cleaners go through a rigorous certification process and maintain a 4.8 average platform rating. So you know you're getting the best of the best, and you can support the cleaners in your area because 100% of cleaning fees and tips go directly to your cleaner. To schedule a cleaning, you simply go to HomeAglow's website to choose the day or time you're looking for and the duration of your cleaning. You'll see all the available cleaners. Schedule as quickly as this week or get something on the calendar next month to check something off of your to-do list. Take cleaning off your to-do list this holiday season by using HomeAglow. Head to homeaglow.com/boon to get your first 3 hours of cleaning for only $19. Thanks so much to HomeAglow for sponsoring today's video. When I first started baking, my favorite bread to make was a cinnamon raisin whole grain loaf. Today, of course, I make it with sourdough and I love using it for French toast. It's also great in the morning, toasted with a little bit of butter and honey. The recipe on my website calls for 840 grams of all-purpose flour, but we're gonna do this in 100% whole grain. This will make 2 beautiful loaves of bread. To the flour, I add a tablespoon of salt, a half cup of oil, a cup and a half of water. Honey is crystallized, so I have to melt it. I'm gonna do a half cup of honey. I wanna make sure that nothing is too hot for my starter so the yeast doesn't die. So I'll just mix this in before adding my sourdough starter. About a cup of starter. Again, this recipe is on the blog. I'll link it below. I'll just do about 3 stretch and folds throughout the day as this sits on the countertop. Like with other doughs, it is very shaggy on that first go around of stretch and folds, but then as I do a few more, it becomes more smooth and elastic. I let this dough sit for about 24 hours. The kitchen is cool and it doesn't over ferment very quickly, especially one that has additional fat and it's a rather dry dough, so it's not as hydrated. I find that those types of doughs don't over ferment near as quickly as a more hydrated dough like the ciabatta and focaccia and even a sourdough boule. I divided this into 2 because this will make 2 loaves. I'm going to mix up a cinnamon and sugar mixture and add on some raisins and roll it up to give it that swirl effect. I love sourdough focaccia because it is so easy. It doesn't require any shaping. I mixed up 1 cup of starter, 1.5 cups of water, a half cup of oil, a tablespoon honey, 2 teaspoons salt. I do 140 grams of hard white wheat berries per cup of flour. So I did 560 grams there of hard white wheat berries, a few stretch and folds throughout the day, and then I let it rise overnight. It's so simple because then you just pour the dough into a 9x13 dish with olive oil, dimple it with your fingers, allow it to rise a bit more. I like to put mine in a really warm spot, so I just put it on top of the stove with the oven going. I'm doing a ton of baking today. Once it's all bubbly and poofy, I add a bit more olive oil, salt, garlic powder, and some Italian seasoning. It's also great with fresh herbs. This recipe is a lot like cinnamon rolls, except for the way that you ultimately roll it in the end. It comes together with butter, water, starter, salt, sugar, flour, and an egg. I am making this 100% whole grain, so the recipe calls for 3¼ cups of all-purpose flour. I took 3.25 times 140 to get my grams for hard white wheat berries. I didn't have any pearled sugar to go on top, but I have some coming, so I'm going to be making these again with the glaze and the pearled sugar, but they are delicious even without that. I cut the little strips down the middle and then twist them in opposite directions. And then I lay one clockwise and the other one counterclockwise and kind of tuck the little tail there in the center to make these adorable little cinnamon buns. For this chocolate sourdough bowl, I'm going to be doing the 2/3 thing like I do for most sourdough bowls. So for this one, I'm going to do 325 grams of hard white wheat and then the balance, so 125 grams in all-purpose flour. If you've baked my beginner sourdough bread recipe, this is honestly just like it as far as the process goes, even the measurements, except for that you add a little brown sugar, cocoa powder, and chocolate chips. It's a lower hydration dough, so it's very easy to work with for beginners. I did about 3 stretch and folds and then just let it ferment until the next day. Now at that point, just like with the beginner sourdough boule, you can shape it, put it into a Banneton basket and put it in the refrigerator, bake it the next day, or you can shape it, put it in the Banneton basket, and then allow it to rise at room temperature and skip the fridge rise altogether, which is what I did today. So that way I started this dough yesterday morning, let it ferment all day throughout the day and overnight, let it rise a second time in my warm kitchen because I was baking a ton today. And so everything rose very quickly because the kitchen was quite warm. I really honestly prefer that timeline. Start one day, have it done the next morning, and I can manipulate that with how cold or warm the kitchen is. Well, I hope that you are enjoying some cozy winter baking in your own home. Check the description box below for all of these recipes I made today.